Hey internet! So I mentioned in my recent Club Monaco haul that I was really gearing up for fall early this year because I'm so excited about a lot of the trends that are coming out. I feel like they're a great fit for my personal style, and it just makes me feel so much more organized to know what to be on the lookout for in stores and even in my own wardrobe in order to have a fall look this year that is very current. So this video is half an aid to shop your own wardrobe for things that are really current for the fall 2015 season, and half a shopping guide as well. My take on fashion has always been that trends are just a way to try something new, just like trying new foods, and also to inspire you to pair things that you already have in new ways. The first trend that I noticed on the runway is a lot of geometric prints, and to work that into your own personal daily style, there are so many ways you could do it. I have some printed scarves that have geometric prints, so those are great choices. But in terms of larger items, even then you can go a little more subtle. So I want to show you guys some examples throughout this video because I feel like that just makes it really helpful and sort of gives you examples, because if you just look at what's on the runway, it can just feel so confusing sometimes because obviously those pieces are thousands of dollars. They're often not really that wearable as well. So this is a really simple way to wear a geometric print. You can see it's just a really simple button-down silk shirt from Equipment, and it has little bullseye targets all over it with the two rings, but it's very subtle, so the print is very small and very neutral. So that's probably the most conservative way you could wear a geometric print. Or you can do something like this, and this is actually a reflection of another trend that I'm going to mention as well in a moment. But if you just look at the print, you can see it's really fun. It has a lot of color going on, but the whole dress is very simple, very affordable. I got this at the Banana Republic outlet last time I went to Hawaii. So my next example actually can be styled two ways. So they are these really ruffled, super feminine pieces, and I've seen some editorials refer to this as Victorian and some editorials refer to it as Spanish, and that's really because different designers have styled it different ways on the runway. So you can go for more of a Vivienne Westwood Victorian look, or you can go for more of like a Dolce & Gabbana, like a flamenco dancer kind of look, just like the Instagram emoticon. This is something that I already had in my wardrobe. It is a Ralph Lauren cashmere sweater. It does button up, very feminine, flirty piece. You could definitely go all out. I've seen dresses covered in ruffles. If you look at Karlie Kloss's recent Glamour cover, I believe, she's wearing this burgundy, gorgeous, I think it's from Gucci. It's really beautiful. It's like kind of the color of my nails, like a real cranberry, really bright and warm against the skin, and very dramatic, absolutely covered in ruffles. And her frame can absolutely carry that off, but something a little more subtle like this is a great way for us normal humans to kind of work it into our own wardrobe. So I feel like every season there are specific decades of fashion that are referenced. For a long time it was all about the 20s and the 30s, then it was like the housewife sort of 50s Mad Men look, especially while Mad Men was going on. And so this year I've noticed there are two particular decades that are referenced, and the first one is the 60s. So the dress that I showed you from Banana Republic has that 60s kind of drop waist vibe, and the print itself is very 60s as well. A lot of the geometric prints that I've been seeing are very 60s inspired. And the 60s can be a very kind of stark, harsh look that is hard to blend into your wardrobe, but you can really easily just pick silhouettes that are 60s inspired. So this little skirt that I have is actually vintage, and you can see it's kind of a houndstooth kind of print, and it's short, a little too short for the office, but it's not a mini skirt length. It's a couple of inches above the knee and has that really straight kind of silhouette going on, so it's very boxy, and it would look great with a black turtleneck or a black v-neck. neck if you want to wear something a bit more modern. So something that's been pulled forward from past seasons and that's still going to be very current for fall 2015 is the 90s, because in the past we've seen 90s as very kind of grunge, Nirvana, rough edges, not very dressed up or put together. In fact, quite the opposite. That was kind of the point. And now we're seeing a version of the 90s that is the more ladylike version, and I am all over it. It completely reminds me of all the outfits my mom used to wear when she was working in the 90s in her kind of work wardrobe. And my favorite part of it is the textures. So we're seeing a lot of fabrics like velvet that have been kind of not that popular for years. I haven't seen a lot of velvet at all, but I do have this blazer from Gap. It's a very simple, loose, black velvet blazer that is going to be so great for the office. It's so great for the holiday season as well. I feel like it's a really warm, soft, luxurious texture. It's definitely a favorite of mine and something that I'm excited to nab more pieces of, because velvet sometimes isn't seen for years. So if I love something and I love a trend like that, I will grab a few pieces like this one and then I'll keep wearing them even when it's not as current, because if you love it, you have to flaunt it. That's kind of the point. So I know every fall everybody talks all about color and it's all about the vampy nails and so forth, but I get really bored about talking about that because it feels so repetitive. It's always a jewel tones, it's always emerald, it's always purple and so forth. So I really like to kind of tie the colors in with overall styling as well. So what I've been seeing a lot of on the runway is especially colors like navy and khaki, those kind of military colors, really come back out, and that's really a trend that's kind of come and gone quite a few times over the last couple of years, and I think we're going to see it again this fall in a lot of khaki pieces, a lot of navy, really boxy pieces like coats and jackets, and navy knits as well. You can especially see the khaki sort of reference in Pantone's color choice, which is an olivey green. You can see exactly the shade that I mean, but I love khaki. I actually think it's a beautiful color on all skin tones and all hair colors. So fashion-wise, it can actually become a really easy go-to for you, along with navy as a softer alternative to the usual black for fall and winter. So pretty much the trend that I'm the most excited to buy more of and wear more of and just overall get super excited and embrace is the stacked heel, because by now I feel so tired of stiletto heels and wedges. I feel like they're either very kind of feminine and sexy but not very comfortable and, you know, kind of hard to wear on a daily basis, or wedges which can end up looking very clunky, especially during the fall when you're already wearing lots of layers. So I think a block heel like the one on these Ferragamo Vera heels is the perfect medium, and I'm so excited that a lot of designers are now bringing shoes out that have that design, because otherwise, you know, it can be so tough to find. And I'm so happy that it's a shoe trend that I love this year, because last year was all about the pointy toe boots left, right, and center, and I hate those. So this year really feels like a treat for me, and I'm excited to get ones that are higher as well, because I've seen some on the runway that are very high, but the fact that it's that block heel will really make them a lot more wearable. It's a lot easier to balance and walk on, you know, that sort of square, very stable surface than it is with a stiletto heel. After wearing all of those crisp, light fabrics for summer, somehow every year, you know, we really gravitate towards very textured items like cable knit sweaters and nubbly knits and felts and, you know, things like that that have a lot more bulk and a lot more substance to them. So this year is no exception, but something that I've been seeing a lot of that we saw only a little bit of last year are textured cuffs and arm pads. So, you know, any kind of leather or knits that will be overlaid over the arms of sweaters are huge. They've been all over the runway, and every designer has their own way of doing it, and I really hope that we'll be seeing more and more of that on the high street soon. The other trend that I am the most stoked about, other than block heels, is the death of bandage dresses. It's a trend that I'm so tired of. I never really liked it in the first place. I think it's so unflattering, especially around the fall when you're nursing your pumpkin bread food baby or whatever your pumpkin spice food of choice is, since it seems like that's always overtaking YouTube during the fall. I really prefer fashion that glides rather than clings. So the right way to do this trend is to embrace silhouettes like slip dresses and loose sweaters and kind of that more rectangular shape. Make sure that you don't mistake loose clothing for shapeless clothing, because there is a huge difference. Loose clothing skims the body and has a certain shape of its own that doesn't necessarily suck you in at every point on your body. And again, it's always great to pair a loose silhouette, so like a loose shirt or blouse or something like that, with some tighter pants, like some leggings or something like that. That's still very current. I feel like that is timeless fashion advice that really helps your look to be proportionate on your body. But I'm excited that we're getting rid of all those super tight dresses and skirts and just kind of really inappropriate clothing if you work in an office, and embracing something that is more universally wearable from the office to dinner to the weekend all around, and very comfortable and feminine in its own way, because something that skims the body is going to be a lot more suggestive rather than obvious, which I am all in favor of. Next, we have Monochrome. I'm talking Made in Manhattan, Jennifer Lopez when she steals the suit kind of monochromes. Doing like different shades of gray, for example, would be a great way to wear that, or different shades of brown, or kind of pick a color and stick to that family and embrace different textures and shapes. And really, you know, that Made in Manhattan moment is a great example, because that cream suit that she wore was to die, but I think for quite a while now that's been kind of a bit of a dated look, and now it's coming back in full force. So you can pull out all of your warm creams, warm browns. I think that's a great way to wear it that's still very soft played. And I'm happy to see this trend continue into the fall, from last year's fall and winter trends especially, because I did invest in quite a few more expensive plaid shirts, like ones from Jack Wills, or the big one for celebrities is always Rails. So this shirt was purchased from Holt Renfrew from the Rails brand, and these are extra soft. They are the softest of plaid shirts. They're really thin as well, so very good for layering. And I want to pair it with something a bit more polished, like some cute little boots or shoe boots, or even some heels. I wanted to show you both of these shirts when they're not ironed, because it is a good example of how you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of money on this trend if you don't want to. I love my Rails shirts, but I also love this one from Dynamite. It has a great silhouette. It is basically an exact copy of the one that Gisele Bündchen wore to the Super Bowl last year. Dynamite made it to kind of replicate that look for a fraction of the price. These shirts retail for under $30, I think, and they have sales all the time. Those are my top 10 trends for fall 2015. I hope that you guys found this video helpful. Let me know down below what pieces you are going to be purchasing or pulling from your wardrobe to reflect these trends, or any others that you are super excited about. I think it is so fun to just look forward to a season fashion-wise. I'm always in the mindset of kind of getting excited fashion-wise about the next season while I'm still in the previous one. So right now I'm still trying to soak up those last rays of sunshine while thinking about shopping for fall fashion, and, you know, going to do my shopping and making my lists and looking at all of my editorials as well. I'd like to give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe for all of the further fall fashion videos that I'll be doing, as I do hauls of things that I add to reflect some of these trends and other pieces I want to add to my wardrobe, and of course as well for my daily outfit of the day videos that I love to put out for you guys, because I definitely am going to do some transitional ones as I, you know, kind of move my work wardrobe from summer into fall. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!